we're on the road, must have a code that you can live by. And so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their mother's hell did slowly go by. Feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. Just look at them inside and know they love you. And you love the tender years, can't know the fears that your elders grew by. So please help them with their youth. They seek the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by. And feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. Just look at them inside and know they love you. And know they love you. And know they love you.
Thank you, Barbara. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. And give a nice thank you to Barbara Whitney, our music director here at Unity of the Seacoast. And peace be with you all. My name is Charlie Richard. I'll be your host this morning. And I hope you get as much out of these services as I do. We welcome anyone who's joining us for the first time. Thank you for coming out to play with us today. And we're going to begin the service right now with the Daily Word for Sunday, May 8th, which is Mother's Blessing. I bless all mothers everywhere. The word mother brings to mind love, gentleness, nurturance, and compassion. Even if I did not experience these qualities from the woman who gave me life, I give thanks for them in everyone who has inspired me and touched my life. To my mother and everyone who has blessed me with a mother's care, I send you love. I say a prayer of thanks for your presence in my life, for the sacrifices you made to give me the opportunities to grow and learn. You taught me the power of love and gentleness and the strength found in giving. You taught me, above all, to be true to myself. You are a leader who's taught me to lead by example. I send you thoughts of infinite love and peace as I join with others in gratitude and joy today. From Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 26, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Mother's blessing, I bless all mothers everywhere. And at Unity of the Seacoast, we have a mission statement, which is now scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. I'm going to do that one more time, see if I can make it through. We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. If we can all aim for that in our daily existence, the world improves considerably. So it's Mother's Day today, and I have been fortunate to have at least two significant mothers in my life. One who, I'll say, took me on while I was in school. Sally Allen was a teacher and a mother of many in many different ways. And then my birth mother, Norma Gerard, who will be turning 90 later this year. She's still driving. She works out at Planet Fitness pretty much every morning, and she walks 2 to 3 miles a day. So God bless you, Mom. You are pretty darn amazing. We all have had a mother, and motherhood goes two ways. We have one that gives birth to us, and we all have the opportunity to express ourselves on the earth as a mother to others. We all have the possibility of expressing that nurturance, guidance, and kindness and love. So that's also a pretty good goal. For anyone who wishes to be added to our prayer list or has someone that they would like to have added to our prayer list here at Unity of the Seacoast, we have a prayer team that each week receives the incoming requests and prays over them for a month, after which they are sent off to Silent Unity at Unity headquarters in Kansas City. So you can send those requests by email to Tom, Reverend Tom, at tshindler@yahoo.com. Again, scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And also later on in the service, you will have the opportunity, if you're comfortable, typing in a request in the comments. If you visit the Unity of the Seacoast website, you can see the weekly announcements, our talks, weekly talks, and other shows that we provide are archived there. If there's something you'd like to look back at because you missed it, or something we'd like to reflect on again. So we have the first Monday of the month meditations, which are hosted by me. And we have a donate button on our website. And Tithely is the platform that we use. We're a spiritual organization, but it takes money to operate in the physical world. For the last year and a half or so, we've been operating virtually online, and we will continue to be online even after we move into our exciting new space at the McConnell Center in Dover. And it looks like we are scheduled for returning there. We had the possessions that have been in storage for a while moved into the new space yesterday, and the painting is almost completed. There's carpet coming in, and I believe we are scheduled for June 5th. The first Sunday in June will be our first live service from the McConnell Center. We're looking forward to that. We also, and then the next evening will be the first Monday of the month, and at 7 p.m. I will be doing a meditation called Meditation for the Homekeeper, to celebrate the opening of our new physical home at the McConnell Center, and also for all of our delightful members who theoretically are living in a home somewhere. So, and Tithely is our platform for receiving donations to help keep everything flowing. And we also have a mailing address if you prefer to send a check along to us, and that would be Unity of the Seacoast, P.O. Box 1676, Dover, New Hampshire, 03821. And we are at this time also broadcasting live on YouTube, and our talks are available there in the future as well. You just type in Unity of the Seacoast in the YouTube search button, and there you'll be. And because of the Mother's Day celebration, many of us are running off to family events, so there will not be fellowship after the service today. There will be live fellowship somewhere. Another tradition here at Unity is Namaste. Namaste is a Sanskrit word that means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. So we would look into another person's eyes, in this case into the camera, bow slightly, and say Namaste. If you have someone physically present with you, we encourage you to do that. I'll be right back. Namaste. There. So next we have another song from the delightful and musical Barbara Whitney.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to play a Mother's Day song. This is a song that I wrote from my mother, so it tells a little story. This is a song for my mother, all of the good that she does. She has a heart that's overflowing with unconditional love. Just when she thought that her family was safe and her childbearing years were done, there was another surprise in store. This time it wasn't her son. My mother has the patience of a saint, but then what choice did she have? The children who had the curiosity that would rival a herd of cats. Oh, mother, you didn't know what you were in for. Daughters, they say, are so nice. I feel that I should apologize for turning your hair to white. When anyone speaks of my mother, they would call her kind face. She is a perfect picture of the embodiment of human grace. She can find laughter in any situation, no matter how great or small. She can find truth in the heart of the matter, and that's the greatest matter of all. This is a song for my mother, all of the good that she does. She has a heart that's overflowing with unconditional love. She can find laughter in any situation, no matter how great or small. She can find truth in the heart of the matter, and that's the greatest matter of all.
Thank you again, Barbara. I'm pretty sure your mother is smiling somewhere with a herd of cats.
Thank you, Charlie.
Peace be with you. Okay, well, now it is time for Reverend Tom, who always brings a delightful, deep, and homespun, earthy truth and realization to us. So, Reverend Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. Barbara, thank you. Both songs, great choice. I love the one you wrote for your mom.
Thank you.
How to put your heart into it. I just I'm thankful that you guys are here. You guys mean so much to me, as everyone does from our church. There's a lot been going on behind the scenes. The building is just about painted. We moved our stuff in. And what I am so filled with is we get help from everyone. You know, Rachel yesterday doing the walkabout, Charlie with his meditations, Tracy, the board, Barbara, George has been helping. My son Bo helped. Elisa is helping. Frank is helping. We met a guy, Justine, yesterday from Nigeria. He came and helped. And it's just such, that's the way it's supposed to be. There's this gift of ownership to our church that everybody's bringing. And I can't tell you how moved I am by that. Rick was going to help too. I knew he got in yesterday and I probably should have called him. So, Rick, I humbly apologize for you, but I hope you were able to relax. Just wonderfulness. So I'd like everyone to get comfortable for a second. It is Mother's Day, and for more than a second, really. And take in a deep breath. And as I always say, find your comfortable space and your comfortable pace. I always find it difficult breathing when I hear the person leading the meditation telling me when to breathe in and out. So find your comfortable place in your space. And I want you to bring a smile to your face. And that smile is for one of the many feminine. For some, it's a mother. For some, it might not be. It may have been a difficult relationship. But there have been those feminine influences in your life who's guided you, who's given you something. Maybe it was an English teacher, a kindergarten teacher. Maybe it was a nurse or a friend's mom. Maybe it's your wife, significant other. I know Casey always makes me better, makes me try harder. I just want you to picture their hand and just holding their hand. One of my favorite visualizations is holding Casey's hand. Think of the influence that this feminine figure in your life has been, not only to you, but to others. Barbara wrote that song for her mom. Charlie mentioned his influences. Charlie's wonderful wife, Lynn, is one of those influences. And today we honor them. We see them whole and healthy and happy. I got to talk with Elisa today, and she talked about her love of her family. Or not today, this week. And it's just such a beautiful thing. So I invite you to come back to me. I'm going to look at a couple things today that hit me. And I'm going to start with a story from Matthew 12:1. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, and they began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath." Going on from that place, he went into their synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there. Looking for a reason to bring charges against Jesus, they asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" Now, this story doesn't really have anything to do with Mother's Day, except I wanted to bring this to you because Jesus has a way of turning things back on them. It's called the question behind the question. And he said to them, "If any of you has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will you not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Therefore, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath?" I want you to remember this style of questioning that Jesus uses as we move through this talk. And in today's talk, we honor that which is our feminine, nurturing side of life. We honor that which is strength, probably the strongest. We honor truth and love. The story, I think of this mostly, is the story of the faith of the Canaanite woman. Leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from the vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy upon me. My daughter is demon-possessed and is suffering terribly." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she is crying after us." And he answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." But the woman knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." "Yes, it is, Lord," she said. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus said to her, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed in that moment. One of the things I love about unity is that we get to have different opinions and interpretations of every story, of every part of this, because we understand that it expands our own interpretation by hearing others. And back in the 60s, there's a Reverend Ed Rabel who wrote his interpretation of the story. And he begins with saying, Now notice that she asked, Lord, help me. Jesus is seemingly rebuking his request, but he was actually motivated to help her, not her daughter. But he answered this and he realizes that he must test her faith for her request to be answered. And Jesus gives her the faith that's needed. And it's one of the strangest sentences in the Bible because he compares her to a dog. But it's also one of the most potent because it constitutes exactly what the mother needed to hear to raise her healing consciousness, which would give her daughter a breakthrough into health. Now, Jesus compared her to a dog. So if you don't understand Jesus, you don't realize the significance of this whole instance. And your reaction might be outrage. But the woman wasn't put off by his remark because she realized as an intuitive woman that he was testing her. She knew that he had spoken these words to give her the opportunity to overcome something within herself, to respond in a way that would complete her healing consciousness. So instead of being offended and upset, she knows what has just taken place. And this is kind of the metaphysical part of this. I look at this story as a little different. Obviously, this woman knew that who Jesus was and was challenged. There was Jews looked at Canaanites as less than, and she was fully aware of that. It's prejudice. It just is. We have this Canaanite lady approaching a Jew, knowing the situation between the Jews and the Canaanites in that day. And her subconscious expectation, she might feel automatic rejection, or at least an insult. But since our expectations are what we think, Jesus gave her exactly what her subconsciously was probably expecting. But this is a mom. And this is, to me, where this gets wonderful. You know, fathers have a great kind of love, but a mom's bond is something that's unique. And I don't believe men get it. You know, throughout history, you're far more apt to hear stories of fathers leaving the family than mothers. There's just more there. There's a bond that we don't get. Now, this woman, her daughter is ill, and she approaches Jesus. He is a Jew, she is a Canaanite. And there was prejudice. And she knows this, but still she approaches. And she does it very cleverly. She does it by paying honor to him. She begins with, Lord, Son of David, have mercy upon me. She uses his lineage. Now, whether it's the author of Matthew's intent to reaffirm that lineage, or she just knows, she is bolstering him up. He's from the family of David. He was born in Bethlehem, which is called the city of David. And then she turns the weight of the conversation on him by saying, have mercy upon me. Then she asks for healing for her daughter. Now, perhaps Jesus is testing her faith, but he's just not opened up yet inside. And I think that's more the case because at first he ignores her. And the disciples, they urge him to send her away. So it doesn't sound like he's that opened up yet. And he responds with, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel, meaning he's going to help the Jews and not the Canaanites. Again, she's a mom. She's not deterred. She kneels before him for the sake of her daughter and asks for help. And he responds, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Meaning the children of Israel are God's children, and everyone else is a dog, and he compares her to a dog. It doesn't get much more cruel than that. She's asking for help to save her child, and she is called less than human. But remember in the beginning, the question behind the question, how Jesus turned that on the scribes? The Canaanite woman does exactly that. She says, even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. She's turning it around, meaning the dogs get nourished too. What she is saying is, even though you speak to the Jews, will your words not nourish those within earshot? In other words, will your words not heal me and others as well? She struck a chord in him. She has used a type of questioning on him that he would use on others. He realizes what she said is a truth. He heals her daughter, and he understands that she has great faith. This is important because it's just, for one, it's a great example of what a mother's strength will do. They are not deterred. They fight for the children. It's this way in all of nature. There's nothing more feared than a mother lion or a mother bear looking out for her children. There is strength in women. There is strength in this woman. And the impact, its global implication, it just ripples throughout history. Because to me, this is when Jesus' mission opened up. Up to this point, it's a Jewish mission. And because she opened him, his mission expanded. You know, last week I spoke of the Lord's Prayer and how it began with the all-inclusive Our Father, not our Jewish Father. And I don't know 100% sure, but I know that the evolution of Jesus' mission does not happen without this interaction. His mission went from being a Jewish mission to one of all inclusivity. That's the impact of this story. That's the impact of a mother's love. And I think about that. I think my mom was like that. When my sister's kidney failed, it was my mom who donated the second kidney to my sister and saved her life. I have such memories of baseball and my mom showing up when I did gymnastics in school or looking at pictures I drew with such encouragement and such strength. And my mom had her insecurities, but about being a mom, she had incredible strength. She showed it with my kids, my family's kids, my brothers and sisters. When my brother had his first child, my mom rushed across the United States to be there on that day. I miss her. And I think about that bond. You think, I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit this week, was what's been in the news, because I think of that bond and with what the Supreme Court is looking at doing. And I want people to understand that there is such a connection between a mother and her child that I don't think we can comprehend the decision-making process that goes into that choice that the Supreme Court is about to try and take away. I don't think a mother takes it lightly. I think it is very, very difficult choice. And as a man, I could never comprehend that decision. And when it's a predominantly male board deciding those laws and those I'm just uncomfortable with that. You know, if men wanted to be so responsible, then perhaps we should be more responsible in the conception part, or be more responsible as the child grows. We shouldn't hear the stories of fathers leaving their child, of not paying. And I don't want to sway you either way. I just want people to have actual concepts within themselves, dialogue about this topic. So you're looking at each side. And I want to cut to the people who decide to use the Bible as a reason for or against it. I got in a conversation later this week who said God says, do not kill, and therefore that covers everything. And that was the only thing that she knew from the Bible. And I thought about this. I thought about this often. When you decide to use the Bible to bolster one side of your opinion or the other, be aware of both sides. Yes, God did say, do not kill. But the Bible is killing for food, for sacrifice. The Bible is killing humans. God, hundreds of thousands. One survey said 2.8 million people God had killed in the Bible. I've not done that count. But there is that happens. And when you look at when God told the Israelites to storm Jerusalem, he told them to kill every last man, woman, and child in the city to give the promised land back. Do you think there was not one woman with child pregnant in that city during that time? If you're taking it all literal, was there not one woman who was pregnant in Sodom or Gomorrah? Was there not one woman on the earth when it flooded? God didn't take a stance in that because God doesn't work that way. If you are morally opposed or for abortion rights, I respect that opinion, but make your opinion based on what you know as truth. Don't leave it for others to decide. We have local elections, state elections. We have that. Whatever your side is, do your due diligence. And don't just leave it to a cherry-picked verse or some clip you saw on the news. This is important for us. Rights are being stripped, or voting rights are being stripped. Mothers' rights are being stripped. Feminine rights are being stripped. I mean, when the majority of people, 69 to 70%, support Roe versus Wade, doesn't sound like equal representation when a group of 5 individuals can change that. So that's where I will end on my political part. And I have told you in the past, I will get political now and then, not to sway you. I certainly don't want everyone to think like me. In fact, that would be a scary world. But I want everyone to think on their own so we can have expanded conversations in everything, not just religion, but in every part of our lives. That is how we grow and develop as a culture, as a people. That is how we become a worldwide community. We recognize commonalities in each other, and we discuss them, and we expand ourselves. So today, as we take this time, I want you to remember your moms and your feminine influence and what they've meant to you. I want you to celebrate them. If you can take your wife or your mother out to lunch or dinner, do so. If you can just look at them in your mind. You know, my mom's been gone for 18 years. I see her daily. Picture those. My grandmothers, both of them, have been gone for a long time. but I see them and they impact me daily. I think of my sister Jill and her kids. There's just so many influences in my life. And you have them too. Take time to honor that. Take time to turn the question around, to reflect on them, to give them strength. It's okay to be wrong and find a new opinion. That's what this story of the Canaanite woman is about. Jesus learning a new perspective and being opened up to it. Be open to the strength that your feminine side has given you. That is the love side of our personality. That is the love of the image of God that we are created in. So I'd like to turn this now to a prayer. If there's someone you're thinking of, I urge you to write their name in the comment box. If writing their name is uncomfortable, then their initials or just a heart emoji. And if even that's uncomfortable, then just hold them in your consciousness. For those that we know and do not know, those close to us and far away, those who are in the world who have a brave face, may they share that with others. And those in the world who are trying to put on a brave face, we offer them hope and faith and strength and courage. For those who are feeling ill or weak or less than, we offer them wholeness and health. We see them whole, healthy, and loving, and we send our love out to them. And so it is. Amen. I'd like to shift this to the prayer of affirmations and tithes. We do a lot with what comes in to our church beyond the bill part, because no one gets motivated to pay a bill. No one donates to pay a bill. But we reach out in the community. We help others. We give 10% away to that which inspires us. Every month the board gets together and we talk about ways of reaching out in the community and helping. And we never have a loss for that. There was always somewhere to go. So with that, we place our right hand over our hearts, and I ask you to repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And then I like to end our service with the prayer of protection. And it's getting down to that time where I get to switch the wording. I always say the presence of God watches over you, because I want you to know I'm thinking of you over at a distance. I've said, as when we become alive and in person, I get to turn that back around on us, because we will all be together. But for a couple more weeks, if you can repeat this with me. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment at peace eternally. Let there be peace